jet set, where the haters, where the hoes, where the throws, you know what I'm saying?
And while they were here, they always wore a mask.
Yes, I'm going after this topic for the views. But this is something that is relevant to martial artists, particularly male martial artists, and not just black male martial artists. So even though I'm going to call this should martial artists protect black women, this is really more of a question of should martial artists who are male protect women, period. Courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit. Those are the tenets of Taekwondo. The slogans of Judo are maximum efficiency, minimum effort, and mutual welfare and benefit. One of the things that keeps people safe in the streets, believe it or not, is not just your awareness and how well you can fight and any type of physical fitness and your ability to handle adrenaline when it comes to your body. All this stuff that sounds really, more exciting, and all the combat training or combat related training that you've had, that stuff's good, that stuff's important, that stuff has its place. And one of the best things you can practice is the first Taekwondo tenet of courtesy. Being able to say, hey, my bad, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Trying not to look at people in a way where they feel like you may be trying to challenge them or humiliate them. Don't laugh at the wrong time where somebody may interpret it that you're laughing or snickering at them in a judgmental way. Being able to breathe and remain calm and polite. Those things can keep you from being shot or worse. Those things can keep people from having an excuse to escalate on you. Now, a lot of us that have our egos involved, and I've been there, so I'm talking about me too. We don't want to look like no punk. We don't want to look soft. And if somebody, disrespects a lady that's with us, or a lady that we know, or somebody that's in our family, then, our instincts, I think it's not just cultural, I think it's just part of the male masculine instinct or ethos to protect them. And if you're a woman who wants to protect another woman that you care about, and you feel like you have some warrior ethic or fighting spirit about you, if you feel like you're being oppressed by patriarchy, you may want to get in there and say, hey, I need to protect this woman because I don't think anybody else is going to. And the truth of the matter is, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people call it self-defense, because ultimately we have to protect ourselves because somebody else can't always do it for us. Now I'm going to play this. I'm not going to sample the whole video. I'm just going to get audio snippets from this so I can, not be accused of plagiarizing. So I should be able to use this audio by fair use. And there may be some bad words in this, so be warned, if you can't take cussing, please get out now.
You women sit on social media, you sit around, everybody killing everybody, but you never tell the truth that there's been 1,000 shootings and homicides and trickle back down to you running your fucking mouth, or you calling somebody and exaggerating because you feel disrespected. Stop calling people. You can argue with somebody on the block, that's it, leave it there. You call your brother, now these niggas going through it the whole summer. Maurice is off tonight.
And she's talking about I think this was a stabbing that happened in Brooklyn, or a shooting, where some woman felt like somebody was standing too close to her. She felt disrespected. And then bang, the guy ends up being shot. I don't know how to make you bulletproof. I don't know how to make myself bulletproof. I mean, if I could dodge bullets like Neo in the Matrix, I would share that technique with everybody. And this is on this guy, Sergeant Willie Pete's video. So, and I have a comment in here. I am the one that said, this is why I train in martial arts, although they be shooting bugs for real. That's me. And that's true. But one of the things that martial arts training can do is, sometimes, man, just let the other person win the argument. If they're going to start getting angry, upset, and start getting loud and stuff like that on you, and saying this and saying that, and you, even though you know that you didn't do anything wrong, just to diffuse the situation, just let them have it, because you don't want them to come back and get somebody to come back and shoot you just because they felt, some type of way about it.
The NYPD says the argument inside a Bronx Dunkin' Donuts spilled out into the street. And sources tell us a female customer accused the 26-year-old victim of getting too close, and that is when she called her boyfriend for help. CBS 2's Corey James tells us what police say happened next.
Balloons and candles were placed in front of 26-year-old Stephen Stewart's home. His family and friends who did not want their faces shown stood on the stoop and sidewalk mourning the loss, trying to understand why anyone would shoot their loved one, originally from Jamaica, who moved to the Bronx just 3 months ago.
I'm surprised somebody would just hurt him like that over nothing.
Stewart's aunt says
she's surprised that could happen. I'm not surprised that could happen. I'm not. And I don't blame him at all. And I doubt that he may have even done anything wrong. Sometimes, man, it's just about the perception of the person who feels as though they're being offended. Now, I may get a little bit of woo-woo here for some of you. But if you feel like somebody has bad energy, if you feel like there's something just a little off about that person, just try to stay away from them. Try to limit your interactions with them as much as possible. Just try not to say anything. I swear, sometimes some people like just try not to even breathe the wrong way around them. If they're upset, they're off. If you know, because sometimes I can see people's like vibrations and energy. So I don't want to get all into that. But if I feel like I see negative energy swarming around a person, like swarming around their left shoulder, I try not to engage with them. And I do think that long-term practice or exposure in the martial arts will get you to so that you can perceive that stuff. I don't necessarily think it's anything magical or mystical or necessarily even spiritual, although it could be spiritual. I think it's just that you move more, you're more sensitive in your body, you have better kinesthetic or feel awareness, so that makes you start to pay attention to how other people are moving their bodies. And after a while, your subconscious just starts to pick up on stuff that it wouldn't have picked up on before. But you see how they said the argument spilled out into the street. If there's any place or any time where you can get off the train of violence, man, jump off that train and hit the ground running if you have to. Do not be above literally running away from a situation if you have to, in my opinion. So I'm going to keep going with this.
her nephew was at this Dunkin' Donuts near Gun Hill Road and Holland Avenue in the Bronx. She says a witness told the family that a woman standing in line accused Stewart of being too close to her. Police say that woman then called her boyfriend, who then followed Stewart. Officers say they exchanged words before the suspect shot him about 2 blocks away.
It's just sad. It's just you women sit on social media, you sit around, everybody killing everybody, but you never tell the truth that it's been 1,000 shootings and homicides and trickle back down to you running your fucking mouth or you calling somebody and exaggerating because you feel disrespected. I'm calling people. You get in an argument with somebody on the block, that's it, leave it there. You call your brother, now these niggas going through it the whole summer.
Philadelphia court.
And see what happens is, that's why you got to take everything with a grain of salt. I say if you're showing up to do the protecting, or you're there and you think you need to do the protecting, this is the rule I live by. If nobody's got a mark on them, there's no reason for me to put a mark on anybody else. If nobody's got a scratch on them, there's no need for me to put a scratch on somebody else. If somebody just got their feelings hurt, there's no reason for me to try to physically hurt somebody else. A lot of times, I have just diffused, deflected, or stopped things from going physical just by me being there. Now, it could be, because I'm a larger guy, but sometimes, if you just look over at something, and I don't mean even looking with a menacing look, just sometimes paying attention. When bad actors see that you're paying attention, they may feel like, oh, I don't even want to be bothered with this, too many eyes, okay? And, just like that song, The Gambler, I know I've said this in way, way, way earlier videos. You got to know when to hold them, you got to know when to fold them, you got to know when to walk away, and you got to know when to run. You got to know when to intervene in a situation and when not to intervene in a situation and how to intervene with a situation. So, if you get a phone call or you're out with the female member of your family and they say somebody did something and you get there or you are there, you turn around, if there's no harm, there's no scratch, nobody's hurt, and the continuation towards violence has stopped because you are there, I recommend that you stop there and that, you pay attention, make sure you're not being followed. Don't try to engage or anything and give people an excuse, because some people, when they get locked into the exchange, they're looking for an excuse to justify what they wanted to do to you. So they can say, yeah, well, he dissed me, or I thought he was going to do this, so I did that. And that's because I think, this is just my opinion, I think it's because they know they're wrong, so they're trying to find a way to justify it when they're going to be judged later, whether it's by other people or even by the legal system. So the question I asked is, should martial artists protect women? Should black martial artists protect black women? Should white martial artists protect white women? Should yellow, pink, blue, polka dot, daisy, fuchsia, whatever martial artists protect women? I think you should protect people if they need to be protected. If there's an immediate threat of violence and you can stop it, I think you should. But also, if you feel like you shouldn't, that's going to be up to you. Because at the end of the day, me sitting up here making a YouTube video, man, is not going to be responsible for what you do with your actions. You're going to be responsible for what you do with your actions. And I highly recommend that you don't do anything that you can't live with the repercussions of, and that you don't do anything, if you can help it, that's going to land you in jail. Because this person that you're defending, you're going to end up going to jail, and a lot of times that person is still going to be on the outside. They're not going to do that time for you. That's why you really need to think about what's appropriate, what's good use of force. I've got a few links on my channel. Just start Googling. If you start Googling use of force and self-defense and martial arts, you'll come up with some good stuff. And if I want to name drop in one channel on YouTube, the attorney Andrew Bronca, his stuff is mostly about shooting. But whenever I go to some of his free things, I ask about martial arts stuff to try to pull that out, because I want to get more of that into the atmosphere about what we do with our empty hand techniques. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people like to talk about the martial arts in peace. And as always, thank you for your time. Check out the Sergeant Willie Pete video I'm going to link to below, where they're talking about this issue. And don't just jump the gun. Don't just go out there be ready to roundhouse kick somebody, reverse punch them, throw them for a pawn, or choke them out, or pull out your balisong. Appropriate force at the appropriate time. Peace! And as always, thank you for your time, because I appreciate it.